Good morning. I got the other owner with me too.
Oh, you do? Okay, I didn't. We had not talked. I apologize,
No, she
Jennifer.
was the strong silent type.
Oh, okay. She's got the strong arm on you right now. Jennifer Neveu joins us. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Dan. How are you?
Well, it is a Wednesday and it's rainy, but moving. And actually, because of that, I thought, because you guys have been here before. I have my hand weights, and so I've been going back and forth to the hand weights a bit because it keeps you from drinking too much coffee and keeps you moving. And that actually is kind of the topic you want to discuss today, and that is really keeping moving during the pandemic, because it is so easy to just go, you know what, I'm tired, and go and lie down and forget about the exercise. But obviously that is a key component in keeping you healthy. Have you found that it's more of a struggle in talking to those who come through your doors?
As far as keeping them moving, or
Yeah, because of that early motivation, because everybody got locked up and it's like, okay, let me out. Okay, well, it's past summer, and are people just like, oh, here we go again? It's pandemic and we have to stay in, and maybe not have that motivation.
yeah, and that actually is sort of a concern of ours right now. Like with other regions that are considered hotspots, and one of the first things the government did was start shutting down gyms. And to us, if there's a really good book, Extreme Ownership, and Jocko Willink and Leif Bobbitt, I think. They're both Navy SEALs, and they wrote the book. And basically, the theory is that if you want to lead something, then you have to convey to the people that are following you or underneath you why it's important to do the thing that you're doing. And so at this point, that's sort of our concern now, is we haven't seen any data at all to show where gyms were the reason why the numbers have spiked as much as they are. So if anything, when we hit phase 3 and the gyms were allowed to open, the numbers went down. And like our facility is actually in a gym, and the guy that owns the gym, Andy Laconin, he's just been so good. Like he's got, like Danny's got a sneeze station. He's got an area where if you want to go on and blow your nose, that's where you blow it. There's hand sanitizer there. He's good set up a system where you can go into the change rooms and you it's like a little abacus. And if you're going in the change room, you slide the ball over to the red section. If you're coming out, you put it in the green, and that way they can monitor how many people are in the change rooms. And, granted, that's just one gym. But, when you've got so many other gyms that are doing the same things, and we're doing the same things, we're doing temperature checks at the door. We do hand sanitizer when students arrive. And we socially distance everybody at least 9 feet. Like we have a 3,000 square foot facility. So our spin area, I know there was a spin gym out in Hamilton that had a huge amount of cases. But our area is 3,000 square feet. So we spread out everybody really, really well. And I guess that's the main concern that we have right now, is that we're sort of getting lumped into where the hot spots are. And if anything, our concern is that people need to stay active, they need to stay fit, and they need to do that in a safe environment. We're trying to do that as much as we can. And with 0 cases in Uxbridge, and we've had no cases even in our facility, then again, that's what we're trying to promote as much as we can.
So your argument is make it on an individual case-by-case basis?
I think if they look at, like right now, they're doing regions. And so that's a little concerning, because right now 0 at Uxbridge, but there's some hotter spots down south, obviously, like Whitby, Pickering. With York region's now shut down, but Keswick's in York region, and they've got 0 cases. So there's a lot of gyms like that are like in areas where there are no cases at all, and everybody's doing things really, really safely. And again, you're talking about businesses, so to us, like if they can show data to say, oh yeah, you know what, this is a possibility, that you could be in trouble, then yeah, all right, then we'll have to consider going back on Zoom. But in the end, like where you're going, how important is it to move? Well, obesity is one of the contributing factors as to what could actually be harmful about this disease. And we already know that physical fitness increases your immunity too. And so if anything, I think we can help more than we can hinder.
Have you noticed any changes once the kids went back to school?
We noticed we had some kids that had sniffles that didn't come in, and the parents have been really good. They said, you know what, my daughter or son has a little bit of a cold, and so we're going to keep them out. Right now, usually I get sick around this time of year. I had nothing. We killed COVID, and as far as I'm concerned, so far we've killed the cold. So as far as changes, just the overall the way we do things is a little different. But in the end, we always taught body movement, and for us right now with kids especially, it's our main focus. And Jennifer and I are doing a lot more learning in the background, just as learning how we can actually make our martial arts school more of a child development facility more than anything else, and just use martial arts as a tool.
Explain that a bit more.
One thing that we look at is something like what they call the sagittal plane. So you're looking at right and left body mechanics. And so it's easy for a child to move one arm. It's a little bit trickier, especially if they're like 3 to 6, where we say, okay, move the right arm or move the left arm. And I don't want to necessarily teach them how to do that off of watching me. I want them to be able to figure out just by the touch of the feel of it, what is the right side and what's the left side. So we might say, okay, I want you to punch with your left, then punch with your right. Or we use a transverse plane too. So we'll say, okay, kick with your right foot, punch with your left hand. So it's got them thinking as far as how they're going to be able to stay mobile and different ways of movement, as opposed to just, okay, can you run around?
Right. Now, Jennifer, as far as the spin classes are concerned, have you noticed a change in anybody talking more about the spin class itself after the outbreak in Hamilton at a spin class?
Yeah, but at the same time, we've had members who have chosen not to come back at all for, any type of fitness class, but we've had some specific spin members who have not returned. And all of our very committed members who have been right with me from the beginning have been comfortable coming back even now. And as Scott was saying, our facility, we have the luxury of being able to basically spread those spin bikes out 12, 14 feet if we wanted, and I could still be at capacity doing it. So I'm very fortunate in that way. And so none of my members have been quite concerned about that. But there is an element of our population, of our member population, who just isn't comfortable. Several of them are seniors and who are just choosing to do their classes, the rest of my fitness classes on Zoom. Spin is not offered on Zoom, of course. That would be weird. But lots of members have just chosen to keep their membership with us active and just do their classes online. And at this point, we have to respect and honor that decision. And we do offer both in-person and simulcast classes.
I was going to ask you whether it would be an idea to be able to go to Zoom. We see people who now have video monitors on treadmills and things like that, and that's what they're doing is they're taking a class or whatever via the treadmill. Is there? I guess you would have to have a client that had their own bike, though.
Yeah, so there's a really cool program, and I don't want to advocate for my competition, but I'll do it because it's really cool. A really cool program called Peloton. And so you actually purchase the spin bike and you purchase the app that goes with it, and you're, cycling with people all around the world. That's not what we facilitate, but it is really cool. And if people want to invest their money into that, that's a whole, membership and a half altogether. But in terms of spin, no, it's just not something that we would offer. But with our simulcast classes, we do our high-intensity interval training, yoga, a mobility class. What else do we have? We have sort of just general fitness and aerobics classes, and those are all online.
Have you found that there is almost a defeated feeling from some people because we are now in a second wave?
I think it's not so much defeated exercise-wise or gym-wise or fitness class or martial arts class-wise. I don't think they feel necessarily defeated like that. I think it's more that they feel defeated personally, like they're losing out on their family time and they're losing out on the other social things that they would be participating in. But I think that the members that we have who have been choosing to, participate all along, whether it's in person or online, have had pretty good attitudes. And quite honestly, I think their movement helps. They have something to look forward to. They get up every day. They come to class with me in the mornings. or, they've got their children or their grandchildren in classes with us in the evenings. So that keeping that schedule and keeping that routine has kept people motivated. No, I actually haven't seen anybody in our circle who has, felt that level of defeat to the point where they've given up.
Scott, what do you do moving forward? We mentioned that it's a regional decision, when they move to a modified stage 2, and it's changed things in York region these days. How do you get that message out that, individually you're ready to be able to stay safe in this situation?
That's a really good question. We're trying to get a hold of Mr. Bethlehem Favi, and we haven't had an answer back, which is sort of a little bit upsetting. But I talked to Mayor Dave Barton yesterday, and he was really helpful and gave us lots of advice. And it's right now that's the big concern is at this point we have 0 cases in town. Our cases in Durham are low, so we're just fingers crossed and lots of prayers that we're just going to stay in our little safe bubble and just keep operating. But it's definitely a concern.
Do you literally look at those numbers every day?
Not every day, but you pay attention when all of a sudden there's a spike for sure.
Well, listen, stay well. These are obviously difficult times. You guys have shown that you can pivot in the past. Hopefully, you're not put back in that position again. You've been doing a great job, by the way, this summer in being able to keep people moving. And I guess the bottom line in this message, too, is for people to keep moving. Don't give up and don't hit that couch because, you mentioned it a bit, Scott, that, as far as health is concerned, if you're not moving, that's when you're even more susceptible.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, it's our students that are keeping us going, and even when we were on Zoom, there was a lot of psychological and emotional damage just on our end because you're watching what we know we can do, and we've been put online into a Zoom format, and it's like the fitness classes are one thing where you can say, okay, this is the workout you're going to do, and there's some monitoring we can do. Martial arts is a little different just in the sense that there's some intricacies and fine details that we sort of miss being able to do in person. So as much as we do have the Zoom simulcast during the week, there's still a point where it definitely helps having one-on-one. But I did a Zoom class on Monday with my own karate instructor, and I got to tell you, all the times we got those messages from students saying, thank you so much for doing this and everything, being on the other end, it really does make a huge difference. For me, I haven't really done my own class like in a group setting. I've done private classes with our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teacher, but I haven't done like a group class for 7 months. And what a difference! It just feels good to learn again.
Well, listen, we're glad you guys had a chance to talk to us, and stay well, and we'll keep an eye on those situations. But again, anybody who is wondering and maybe thought about joining and not sure health-wise or whatever, you guys are so well prepared, and it's a place that you can go and feel safe and get your exercise as well. If somebody is interested, how can they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website, okamikai.com, okamikai.com. They can call the office, 852-1521. Other than that, we're email, Facebook, Instagram. If you can communicate with us, we're on it.
Guys, thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That is Jennifer Neveu and Scott Campsall from Okami Kai Karate. Again, if you've been thinking about it and worried about going into a situation that you think might be a little dangerous in the COVID during the pandemic, this is one of those situations where they have gone above and beyond in keeping the facility clean. So don't let that stop you from keeping active.